Welcome to Language Learning Foundations, the free online course where I help you create your ideal self-study plan in just 1 week. My name is Maddie and I have taught myself many languages successfully in the past, and this is the process I follow through whenever I want to start learning a new language or change my current routine. So check your inbox every day because you will be receiving valuable content you don't want to miss out. So today, we're going to talk all about resources. I don't know if you know this, but I am a language coach and my students often ask me about resources, how to pick them, how to organize them. In general, which ones to use. I have gone through these myself, spending sometimes more time looking for resources than actually using them, and this is especially true if you're learning a minority language. We're also going on the debate on when to pay for resources, or if learning for free it's possible, but also how much is too much for a language resource, as well as how to use the PDF resource finder and method finder to filter the resources and use the ones that are beneficial for us. Let's start by telling you that your resources have to match your goals. And we're gonna dive deeper into this in the next lesson about our roadmap or plan to achieve our goals. What are we going to do with our goals and how we're going to get there? But in general, what you have to know is that your resources have to work on the skills that you need to achieve the goal that you want to achieve. For example, if my goal is to speak fluent Portuguese with a great pronunciation, I will have to focus on resources that help me work on my pronunciation, of course, but also resources that are gonna make me speak a lot, like a language tutor, right? So we have to focus on resources that match our goals. There are many types of resources, and I'm gonna do a quick rundown through all of them. We have natural or alternative resources, such as Netflix, Spotify, everything that you will normally access in your native language, but instead you do in your target language. My favorite alternative resource is video games. I love playing video games, even mobile phone games in different languages, and that's a great way to gain vocabulary because there's a lot of repetitions in these games and it's just fun to do. It's very dynamic, but it might not be obvious to everyone that while I play video games, I'm learning. Something else we have are apps and websites such as Duolingo, Memrise, Closemaster, you name them. And these are really great, especially to create habits and to work on vocabulary. We also have textbooks, which I'm not going to dive a lot into because I'm not a huge fan of textbooks. I know many friends that love them and are absolutely obsessed with them, but I'm not one of them. So all I know is that textbooks have similar dynamics to apps where you have both passive and active learning, mostly so in the form of writing, and they follow a curriculum. We also have your regular offline course, your lesson at the local university, your high school class, all of that. Those are also resources that you can follow. We have language tutors, which are just persons you practice conversation with and help you answer your questions, and they're also great for pronunciation. Language coaches, who are people like me who guide you into how to learn a language. They focus more on how to be an independent learner than the language itself, but most of them know many languages, or at least they know few languages very well, and they can probably help you, they should help you into also answering your questions regarding a specific language. And we have paid programs. If you've heard of Ollie Richards, for example, language mentoring, language hacks, I will teach you a language, all of these, language boost, all of these are programs that you pay. They're set for a specific time and they tackle a specific problem. These are great and I will certainly invest in those. They can be more expensive though. So yeah, can you learn a language for free? I really think so. I actually did learn a language for free when I learned Italian. I didn't have any money to pay for a resource or the programs that I wanted to follow. I didn't even have money to pay for books in the beginning, so I only used the resources that were available to me. For example, Netflix, Spotify. These are things that I was already paying for, so it wouldn't cost me any extra penny. But then also like Duolingo and YouTube, things that don't cost me anything and that can actually help me learn. And then I created, my YouTube channel, my Instagram, and found language buddies and people to practice with. And I spoke to myself a lot. I will record myself speaking almost every day. So while it was not great for my cell phone memory, it was great for my practice. And because I was very, very sad, depressed, and unemployed, I will dedicate something like 3 hours to my learning every day. So yeah, in 3 months I was learning for free, but take also in consideration that I had a lot of time. Right now, I don't have 3 hours to study every day, and now I have more languages added up. I paying for a program or paying for something that will help me really move forward faster, and that I don't have to think so much of what I will do. It's something that is pre-made for me, will actually help me right now. So, which brings me to my next topic, and it is, if you can learn for free, why will you pay for resources, right? If free is better. Well, it's because normally when you pay for something, it has advantages. First, it will help you save time and progress faster, because these are things that are proved to work. I'm talking especially here about programs, like coaching programs, courses, online courses, ebooks too. I'm also talking about ebooks. They will help you progress faster. Textbooks too. So investing in your learning this way will help you know exactly what to do and spend less time thinking about, what can I do next, and more time actually learning. You should also pay if you're using a resource a lot and you think that paying will help you improve. And this applies especially for apps and websites like, let's say, Memrise or Closemaster. These are 2 apps that I absolutely enjoy. Lingo Dear too. 3 apps that I absolutely enjoyed and that I have paid for their premium version, because I was using them so much. I actually needed these premium features, like connecting offline, because I used to spend so much time at the subway in Madrid, or more units, special things that they have, grammar practices and stuff like that would actually help me. So if I was using them so much and they were helping me progress, why wouldn't I pay a little bit to help me? And I wouldn't pay them forever. I don't pay an app and then forget about it. I'm very conscious with my money, so maybe I'll pay for an app for 2 or 3 months, and then I'll stop, and then I'll change it to another app, or I will just use another resource. I don't expect everyone to just like subscribe to an app forever and ever. I mean, if you like them and you will use them forever and ever, then go ahead. But I do believe that every resource has a lifespan. So yeah, there's only so much an app or a website can teach you. Except for Linku. I think that goes forever. That's only my personal opinion, of course. Then you will want to pay for a resource if you need extra help. For example, I do need extra help with German, so tutors and Lingota has been very helpful for me at the moment, because I was stuck. I didn't know what to do. I have a little trauma with German. I think I've already told you about it. I had this teacher who will send me a lot of homework, and every time I see German, I want to cry. But I love the language, and I love the culture, and I love that many people that I know speak German. So I want to learn German for personal reasons, and I also, what I want the most with German is to prove that I can get over my German trauma. So I do need extra help with that, with tutors, and that will help me get over that and just inspire me to practice. And then you will also want to pay for a resource if you want to tackle and a specific issue. For example, if you want to learn kanji, you might want to have a textbook that helps you learn kanji, or a specific app. If you want to really work on your pronunciation, you can find a tutor, or you can find a coach, or you can find a program that tackles that issue, or in a specific grammar that is stopping you from moving forward, all of that. I think that you might need some extra help with that, and with a very specific issue. And there are programs and teachers and resources that you can pay that will make it easier and less painful for you to learn. Okay, so we know that in some situations you can pay, but how much do you have to pay, and how much is too much? Well, it depends on your goal, it depends on your lifestyle, and what it's important for you at the moment. So, like I told you before, when I was learning Italian, I didn't even think of paying anything because I couldn't. But now I will not think twice on hiring a German tutor, or, going to a meetup here in the Netherlands to practice my Dutch that is paid. I wouldn't mind that, because it's something that's important for me at the moment, to learn these languages and to move forward in these languages and to prove something to myself. But again, it all goes back to your goal. How important is this for you? Are you learning this because it's a hobby and it's something that distracts you, and you just do it because you think it's fun? And maybe then you don't need to pay for many resources. It's not that urgent. You can take your time learning. But maybe you're moving to a country soon and you need to speak the language because you need to get a job there. And if you don't speak the language, you won't get a job. Or maybe you're an immigrant and your kids are learning the language at school and you have no idea what they're talking about. Maybe learning a new language can mean that you might get into a certain project at your job, or you might even get a raise at your job because you speak certain languages. Or maybe you are in an environment where everyone else speaks a second language and you don't, and you need to speak that language to understand. So depending on whatever your goal is and whatever your budget is, you might want to spend more or less in said resources. So if it's very urgent, a good program, a good teacher, it's gonna help. But when to change resources? Well, when you're stuck, that's the number one moment when you have to change a resource, when you feel like you're not progressing, you're speaking the same as you did maybe a month back, you're not moving forward, you still don't understand certain things, then it's time to move your resource, because that it might mean that resource is no longer pushing you forward. When the resource gets too easy as well, if it's too easy, it means you already know this, you got this, it's time to move on. And when it gets boring or repetitive, that's a great moment to change a resource, because if it's not bringing you joy, if it's kind of like homework, it doesn't feel that nice. But being that said, I want you to give every resource at least a month, especially teachers. Why? Because no resource is magical. There's no resource that you'll be like, wow, in 1 week I know it all now. Like, of course, if you're a beginner, you feel like you progress really fast, but especially if you're intermediate, resources take longer to show their progress, because it takes you longer to get new structures and vocabulary, because you're already past the beginner stage when everything's new, everything is pretty. Now comes some stuff that might be a little bit more difficult. So give that resource a little bit more of time, and then if it doesn't work, it's okay, move forward. If it works, keep using it. Which resource to try? That's a very interesting question. There are many resources, many methods too, and I'm going to talk about methods too right now, that are out there on the internet. For methods, just to name a few, we have the bilateral translation by Luca Lampariello. There's also the learning through stories method, the going to a retreat method. I don't think that's a method. I think that's just it's a way of learning. It's a very effective way of learning, but it's a holiday as well, so that's not a method. Immersion method, that it's more appropriate. You also have there's one, a golden list. Did I already say the golden list method? spaced repetition. So you hear all of these buzzwords that are out there, and you're like, okay, but what should I do? Should I do like a cold list and spaced repetition and immersion all at the same time, and then like also use like Duolingo and a program and Twitter and absolutely everything under the sun? Well, no, take it step by step. Like, don't saturate yourself with information. To know which resources to try, I have two pieces of advice. The first one is to check out the PDF I put my heart into making. Please download it. It is a PDF for Google Doc or Google Sheets. I have it in 3 formats because I love different using formats for stuff. And it basically helps you filter the resources that you find, right? So what you will do is that you will really look at the resource and see if it aligns with your goals, if it aligns with your budget, and if you have time to learn it. And also to, after a while, review the resource and see if it is actually helping you or not. Then my second piece of advice is to ask yourself these questions. Okay, does this resource align with my goals? I mean, if I want to speak fluently and naturally, do I need to write every day? Do I need to read scientific papers every day? Like, does it really align with my goals? Also, second question, does it seem fun? Am I excited to try this resource? Sometimes I get new resource, I'm so excited to try. Like, I'm such a dork. But I do, like, if I get, like, if I find a very cool website or a very cool YouTube channel, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to watch it every day, every hour. You know, if it gives you that excitement and that, and if it seems fun to do, then I will say that that's a great resource to give it a try. Is it okay for my level? Is it too advanced? Is it too easy? And this is what free trials are great for. You can free trials, every app or website have like free trials, and you can, you know, just like try them and see if they work good for you. Are they good for your level, or are they too easy, or are they too difficult? It's important to be always only a little tiny bit above your current level, so you're always improving, not just maintaining the language. Does this resource adapt well to my lifestyle, to who I am as a human being? Can I afford it? Do I have the time for it that it needs, right? Do I have, for example, 1 hour every week to talk to a tutor? Is it realistic for me to pay a tutor weekly, or maybe it's more realistic to pay for a tutor once a month, right? So really think all of these questions through, and just think about if this resource it's going to work, because there are so many out there, also with methods. Same questions apply for methods. So yeah, this is all there is to know. All the questions I used to have about resources. I hope I answered all of them. Any question pending, please let me know on my social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook page, or the secret Facebook group. You can just ask me anything, any question that you still have, and I will take the time to answer all of you. It might take a while, but I take the time to answer all of you. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for listening to me speaking about language learning resources, like the nerd I am, for probably longer than it was supposed to be. But who is here to say what is supposed to be, right? Anyway, in the next lesson, I'm going to give you a preview. What we're going to learn is to create a roadmap or plan. So I created this funky roadmap that I think it's super cool, and that I've been using for a while now to learn all the languages I'm learning. And it's basically a step-by-step guide, personalized. You're gonna create it with your own method, whatever it is that you like to do. It's possible to fit it in, so it's absolutely personalized, and I will just guide you into how to create one, and I will also add some pictures probably and a blog post on how I, how I did it and how I use it, and my own personal goals that I have with languages right now. So yeah, I hope that's interesting. Okay, this is all for today. Thank you so much for listening. You are the best. Happy learning. Enjoy. and just go ahead and learn. Okay, bye. Bye.